All right, welcome back everybody. This is Mike in the morning. This is Mike. It's 10:41 a.m. Los Angeles time. Let's dig in. Start off with prices. Taking a look at the cryptocurrency prices of the day. Back here on CoinGecko. Looks like Bitcoin is up just marginally. Still hovering around that $18,000 mark. I got a flurry of Twitter notifications this morning because I set my notifications to alert me whenever the Twitter handle whale calls or whale alerts tweets, because they show liquidations of people shorting Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, as well as huge moves of large amounts of money from one exchange to another. And saw a bunch of, my phone got a flurry of activity this morning, as it looks like we tried to correct here below down to about 17.5 and was immediately bought back up to the $18,000 mark. So do we go higher from here? Hard to say. Let me pull up my Bitcoin chart. We'll just see what the old Bitcoin is doing here in terms of where it's been ranging. So yeah, it looks like we are slightly broken out of this ascending channel we've kind of been ranging between for the greater part of a year. So if we were able to stay outside of this range, that would be incredible. I wouldn't be surprised if I saw us come back and test looks like about as low as 17, 6 or 7 about is as low as it looks like we're gonna go. Should zoom in a bit. This is a 2-hour chart, kind of a weird time frame, but you can kind of see we did bounce off here. Wow, that's looking pretty bullish. Every time it fell back into this range, it kind of bounced off of that. So we'll see. As always, gotta zoom out, as Mark would say. And it's looking pretty gosh darn bullish. Even on the MACD, we're still looks like we're gonna have a little bit to go in terms of the bullishness here. However, we are pretty overbought here. TradingView still gives this a buy. Let's move on. So Bitcoin news. Number of new Bitcoin addresses spiked again to the most that it's seen in a 3-year period on November 18th, as more people are FOMOing in. It's one of those things. FOMO, obviously, if you buy a top and sell a bottom, you're going to lose money. Of course, you don't actually lose that money until you sell. So lots of people who bought towards the top back in 2017, 2018, may be nearing profit for the first time now. Overall, FOMO is not good, but I'm still okay with people getting in at this price, even though we are near that all-time high, because, this Bitcoin cycle is just getting started. Bull run is sort of just starting here. Post halving a couple months back, we've always seen parabolic rise in the period thereafter. If you look at the stock to flow model, it predicts Bitcoin will, let's see if I can just pull that up for you guys. So yeah, this is how closely we've sort of followed this model over time. And really, it's predicting that we'll be nearing, by December of 2021, or what is this, maybe going into, wow, November of 2020, about $100,000 Bitcoin now. Will we see that happen? That's still yet to be seen, but it's been pretty spot on so far. We see scarcity run up. So on top of that, institutions are FOMOing in. So I don't know, follow the money, guys. Make your own decisions, but I'm fairly bullish that we'll continue to see higher and higher prices. So if you wanted to buy a bit, at 18,000, I'm sure in the long run you'd be happy that you spent that money. Not financial advice. That new active addresses stat came from Glassnode. Glassnode, if you don't know, is an analytics, an on-chain analytics dashboard. It's basically always looking at all of the market statistics for Bitcoin and Ethereum. And so, you could just come under new addresses. Oh yeah, I think the stat was new addresses, not active addresses. And you can see the most new addresses ever created looks like was, about in the middle of the last bull run. And December 17th, that's pretty much the day that we topped. That's the day that derivatives trading from, I believe, the CME, might have been the other one, launched. So people just started shorting Bitcoin, and literally the day that those went live, looks like there were a lot of people adding addresses so that they could open up some shorts. But you can kind of see our daily number of new addresses, new Bitcoin wallets essentially, has been on a steady increase ever since then. Really interesting stuff. Adoption is coming in waves. Elsewhere in the crypto sphere, rich guy thinks Bitcoin could hit 170K over the next 2 years. I see a lot of headlines like this, and I think that we're just going to see more headlines like this as institutions go ahead and start to invest parts of their clients' portfolios in Bitcoin. They're going to make bullish bets. I know it's not just based on it being a self-fulfilling prophecy, that there are technical analyses being done to drive these predictions, but take it with a grain of salt, guys. It's likely that these guys are already pretty heavily in and now are indicating to the market, hey, it's gonna moon, make sure to get in. So again, I'm okay with people buying at this level at 18K, because pretty much public consensus is that we will see Bitcoin balloon in the next few years, even in the next year, some are saying. And it really goes to feed this entire narrative that the US dollar, which is currently the world's reserve currency, will likely be phased out as inflation runs rampant in our country, in the US. If we print another few $1 trillion, which maybe we should, given that we are in a recession, printing more money will devalue the currency on the global stage. And just knowing that everybody else's, not everybody, but most other central banks use the US dollar is their reserve currency, they're going to look for a better store of value. There's going to be a global shift out of the US dollar in the next 5 years? Question mark? So, yeah, that's, looks like this Bloomberg person is predicting a 20K short-term resistance, given that that's pretty much our last all-time high, but yeah, it's going up. I think that's the news here summed up. Follow the money, guys. Elsewhere, billionaire Mike Novogratz. If you're new to the crypto space and are wondering, who are the influencers, I guess, in the space, I would say Mike Novogratz is a name that you want to get to know. He owns Galaxy Digital, which is a publicly traded fund, and he is early into Bitcoin and Ethereum and cryptos in general. You may see him on CNBC talking, good about Bitcoin and, understanding how unbelievably long he and his firm are in crypto is not surprising that he is calling for bullish signals. But in our last episode, we did talk about Maisie Williams, Arya Stark, asking the world if she should long Bitcoin. I think the price was 17,000 and change. Mike Novogratz reached out and said yes. Let's just take a quick look at that Twitter poll. So essentially 53% of all people who took Maisie's poll said, no, you shouldn't invest in Bitcoin, which, maybe we're not there in the public adoption cycle, so maybe that's a good thing. But yeah, she bought some anyway because, well, you're a young person, take some risks. Also, is it really a risk? Is it gonna go to zero? I don't know. It hasn't gone to zero yet. I guess somebody learned how to, no, not even that would shut it off. So, Maisie's out here buying Bitcoin. Shout out to her. Moving right along, Ethereum news. Actually, before I go on to this, I saw this article and this kind of amazed me. Just estimating what Mike Novogratz's net worth is without looking it up. Well, we know that it's at least 229 million because he was sold 500,000 Ethereum for 99 cents. That was in 2015. That is incredible. So who knows how much he's already sold? But, this guy is a crypto evangelist, Mike Novogratz. Look him up. Follow him on Twitter. He's definitely one of those whales that has influence in the industry. So, yeah, interesting stuff. In other crypto news, more digital currencies are being created by central banks around the world. Whereas the US normally leads on this sort of thing, we are actually lagging behind other countries who have already created theirs, like China. They have a digital yuan, digital renminbi. In fact, they just airdropped like a bunch of it to their citizens to get them to use the new digital yuan systems interface, which I think is pretty cool. By the way, when I say airdrop, that just means that they give you money to use on a certain platform. So if you get airdropped some tokens from Uniswap, like many people did, you got essentially free money, which is pretty nice. So Japan looks like they are going to compete with other major players in the East Asian hemisphere by creating their own digital currency. It's actually going to be an experiment worked out between some of their largest banks. What the implications are for us in the US are nebulous at this point. other than we'll likely need to create our own, and likely will create our own. I know things happen pretty slowly here, but stay tuned. Coming soon. The world is going crypto. In Ethereum news, looks like, oh, you know what? This isn't even what I'm looking for. Wow, this is from 2018. This is not the article I was looking for. ETH 2.0 is still coming. ETH 2.0 essentially will allow for transactions that occur on Ethereum's blockchain to occur much more quickly and flexibly and scalably than they are right now. The ETH 2.0 project has been underway for quite some time, but only is it now been released, the sort of contract to allow staking, which is sort of the first phase of the ETH 2.0 rollout. What staking is, for those of you who don't know, is essentially your money does the computational work required to run the blockchain, and in doing so, they are rewarded tiny bits of that cryptocurrency. So if you're doing Ethereum staking, then your staked Ethereum will generate additional Ethereum into your pocket. So this wasn't a capability before that Ethereum had, but now it's being rolled out as the first part of Ethereum 2.0. Actually, no, they did have that through other projects, but this will be a direct way for you to stake Ethereum on the blockchain. This particular, before they can go live, in order to promote as much security as possible, they're requiring like 16,000 instances of 32 ETH to be staked to the contract. That's a lot for most people. 32 ETH right now is about $15,000. So if you don't have $15,000, you'd have to go through like an Anchor or other application in order to participate in this staking. But as of right now, it looks like we're about 20% of the way there. Hey, stop it, dog. So this Ethereum 2.0 will be available to go live as soon as December 1st, but it won't go live until we hit our goal of 16,000 and change instances of 32 ETH being staked. Let's see, it's about 16,500 times 32. So yeah, we need like 500 to 550K total Ethereum staked, and we are not close. However, Uniswap just ended its Ethereum staking pool, or liquidity pool. So there's a lot of Ethereum that just got released. I think they said like $1 billion worth, where some of that could be deposited into this contract so that we can get live with this Ethereum 2.0 sooner rather than later. By the way, Ethereum 2.0, it's going to start with staking your Ethereum. Then it's going to allow for smart contracts on the 2.0 blockchain, and then sharding. Sharding is where we really get the flexibility. Sharding essentially is taking the main sort of ETH universe, creating a number of mini shards of that universe, and within each of those can exist its own ecosystem. So we'll get magnitudes more flexibility. It should also bring forth a lot more speed. Right now, Ethereum's transactions per second, or TPS, is about 15. And when you think about a globally adopted currency or crypto like Ethereum only being able to manage 15 transactions per second, it's a problem. Okay, like when there's a lot of congestion in the sort of etherverse, such that if there are a lot of people doing transactions at one point, then it'll take your transaction a hell of a lot longer to go through. So Ethereum 2.0, when sharding releases, will allow about 100,000 transactions per second. So we will see immaculate improvements. This is the biggest thing to come out of the Ethereum project team since Ethereum was created. So bullish. I mean, look, I think that there's lots and lots of opportunity here to see additional projects leverage Ethereum 2.0. All of the Ethereum ERC20 projects will be migrated to Ethereum 2.0, and we'll see. I just think that will be the catalyst to a huge frenzy of crypto buying when you see how well it performs. Lastly, crypto exchange OKEx is going to reopen. So their founder was actually, OKEx is a Chinese exchange, a Chinese crypto exchange, and their founder was mysteriously arrested or disappeared. And it could have something to do with fraudulent accounts. Basically, they said that they had more daily active users than they did in the very beginning when they first launched. And then they became a big, huge established exchange. And I think China is kind of cracking down on some of the early fraud that occurred in the crypto space. Also, I think China likely wants to have greater control or have a bigger hand in the crypto space, at least for exchanges that are operating within China. And from what I can see, Binance is the largest player there and are likely the ones that will benefit most from any sort of crypto exchange scrutiny. People who had cryptos on OKEx for the past, I guess, since October, have not been able to withdraw their cash. So that's a problem. But it looks like it will resume after 2 months on November 27th. They're going to launch a loyalty rewards campaign as a sorry we held on to your crypto and said that you couldn't have it. Thank you for your patience, your thoughts and prayers, essentially. So yeah, we did see the OKEx coin. Where is it? The OKB up 5% today on the news. Actually, I think the news came out last night or yesterday, and in the past 7 days, it's up 20%. Pretty big gains there. As you can see, most people are not feeling good about OKEx because of the controversy, and you can kind of just see what happened as soon as that sort of news came out. They fell from about $6 to $5, 15% drop, right? And yeah, even though that they are an exchange themselves, they have their own token. Many exchanges are the same way. In fact, Binance Coin is huge. I mentioned that Binance is probably the largest crypto exchange in the world. So if you're looking for cryptos that act more like stocks or securities, these sort of exchange coins are a good way to go. So you'll want to look for things like, what does their roadmap look like? Are they supporting new features? Do they have interoperability with all different types of third-party services? All right, well, that's about it. None of this, of course, is financial advice. Do your own research, okay? It's your money. But this next crypto run seems to be building momentum, and I don't know if anybody can really afford not to put just a little bit in. My recommendation for most beginners is to dollar cost average. Basically just means in periodic increments buy the same amount. So maybe you have $10 a day. Rather than going to Starbucks, you buy Bitcoin with it. All right, good luck to you.